a really great uncle. My great uncle, Llewellyn Thompson, was the ambassador to the Soviet Union during the Cuban Missile Crisis. His summits with Nikita Khrushchev were solemn, terse, and volatile. Choice Russian caviar went largely untouched, while vintage vodka was very nearly bruised. After several frustrating and fruitless meetings, Llewellyn finally declared, "I have a plane to catch." On the other side of the world, I had just awoken and was headed for the kitchen when Grandma and a kettle of oatmeal burbled. A pat of butter and some symbolic chewing later, I was out the door. I couldn't wait to get out to the fields.
Summoned to John F. Kennedy's cabinet meeting, Thompson strongly advocated a siege of the island nation, adding, "I'll deal with Khrushchev." Against the consensus of most of his advisors, who supported more aggressive action, JFK adopted Tommy's plan for a show of force with a naval blockade of Cuba.
Meanwhile, I was netting butterflies and dragonflies to fill out an insect collection. A box turtle that let me feed him berries distracted me from that mission. We became fast friends, or one of us did.
All the while, hundreds of our warships were converging on Cuba with instructions to fire across the bow of any ship disregarding the quarantine. There was a crisis as the Soviet convoy awaited orders from Moscow, and our Navy contemplated sinking defenseless freighters. Llewellyn flew back to the USSR.
Meanwhile, in Houston, I'd come home for lunch, leftover chicken and a cinnamon sugar sandwich. I dashed back to the field, which had by then been invaded by a rabble of monarch butterflies atop the purple thistle.
With Russian warships en route to Cuba, tensions led to threats and the very real possibility of full-blown nuclear war. Missile silos all around the world were on standby, ready to launch. Thompson and Khrushchev resolved to salvage the train wreck in progress with the engine already derailed at full speed.
Apocalyptic horror loomed on the horizon. A huge, pulsating orange cloud approached. Once upon us, the sun was but a faint, eerie glow beyond its cloak. Midday was plunged into darkness, dim as a half-moon night. But there was no bomb. No nightmarish nuclear cloud, just the truly magnificent spectacle of the massive annual monarch butterfly migration.